Well met.
So, for Season 1, we are getting 2 expansion packs. There is the Vanessa pack and there is the Dooley pack. Already reviewed these cards when they were revealed on the weekend, I believe. So it's got Dooley cards. So, Dooley Pay to Win expansion pack. The main, so there's one main theme for this pack, and it's this Beatles stuff. It's the Beatles. So there's these 5 bugs, and there's other big bug support, and then some other stuff. Let's go through them. So the idea here is that the kind of the cute, the gimme, the easy way to evaluate these cards is that the intended way is to put the Beatles in order, left to right. So blue, then green, then this one, then this one, left to right, and they buff, they charge each other, right? So let's go to them. Blue Beetle, freeze. Let's zoom in, I guess. Zoom. Blue Beetle, freeze 1 item for 0.5 seconds. I've been told on good authority by the card revealer himself, apparently. Well, it's third-hand knowledge, but apparently they changed this text. Yeah, but you want to they changed this text to say not to the right of this, but either side. When an adjacent item poisons, charge this, and for all of them it's when an adjacent item does anything, charge this 1 second, right? So all of them do the same thing. It's when an adjacent item does a thing, charge the Beetle, charge the bug, I guess. So we'll evaluate if that was the case, right? So Blue Beetle, freeze 1 items for 0.5 seconds. When an adjacent item poisons, charge this 1 second. We can compare this, rather we should compare this not to coolant, but to isocoric freezer. If you are ever inclined to play a silver isocoric on your board, then this item, the Beetle, the freeze Beetle, is actually very reasonable. This is a freeze. It's a short freeze. It's a freeze which can target anything. Any item, small, medium, large, no color restriction, just nothing. Just any item this can target and freeze for a while. You can charge this. The charge requirement is probably the worst one possible for this one. Poison is something which, while it can be strong, you don't do in very fast increments. Unless you can steal a poppy field from Mac, which is the one where when you use a weapon, you poison. Because these effects do count in passive effects. So if your metronome is doing haste, your haste-based beatles, like the burn one, I guess, this one, can use the haste from a metronome, or the poison from a poppy field, or the haste from a pylon, for example, right? So it's any effect, active or passive, and it's either side. Text is wrong on this, so it's either side. That being said, even if you don't charge this too much, it's not that bad at silver. Because the way it upgrades is this. To my knowledge, what I've been told is, when this upgrades, it gains an additional freeze target, right? So it's freeze 2 items for 0.5 seconds, and then 3 and then 4. And that seems like a very decent effect, especially if drill stays the same, which I don't think drill should be unnerfed. Should be like should stay the way it is. I think drill should get like at least a slight damage nerf. But yeah, like it's pretty good, this item, the blue beetle. It's not like, oh wow, like I'm not amazing, but drill silver, that would be fair, honestly, making drill silver. I don't like that though. I mean, it's a nerf, obviously don't like it, but that would be fair, making drill silver, yeah. Make it harder to find. Oh yeah, and also with Shatter, dude, this is like the greatest. Like you have this, you find Shatter, it's a game over, right? Like you play like weapons plus this plus Shatter, it's like GG. So I play well. Shatter is very good at it now, but this makes it like insane. Like I mean, well, Shatter is a skill which can be good sometimes, not always. Like it's really good when it's really good, right? So like when you have like the good procs for it, it's really good Shatter, but oftentimes it's hard to justify like with no other freezes. Like it's level 5, it's day 4, you're level 5, you have like no freezes, and you see a Shatter, and it's like, well, yeah, it's a good skill for the future, but it doesn't do anything right now, you know, so. But it's like a bronze item. It's a bronze item, which makes Shatter like really good, because it's at silver, it's 2 Shatter procs immediately, right? Like that's pretty good, I would say. So I think this beetle is pretty decent. Not the worst, not the best. It's like not a very good early game card, because in the early game this kind of disruption is not you want just damage or burn, or just you want damage. You want damage or healing in the early game. You want actual, you know, just to actually do stuff. But in the mid and late game, this disruption isn't bad. And especially if you can land a poison enchant on a thing which procs a lot, like you do like a poisonous, they deliver like a poisonous core, let's say, a poisonous core, or like a poisonous, I don't know, toxic pylon, toxic robofactory, like any toxic, any poisonous enchant item makes this very good, I would say. Even like a medium speed one makes it pretty good, I would say. So yeah, because you can, being able to spam freeze is a very strong thing to do, right? So this is like very high potential upside to have this item in your inventory. So it's like better than the average Dooley card right now, the average like bronze small Dooley item right now. Pretty decent. Next, Green Wasp. I actually think they might nerf this. So this reads, this is lying to you, this text. They confirm it's like, it's now adjacent items on this text. That being said, these are still like not great procs. Like slows and freezes are like some of the rarer triggers for Dooley, because coolly these are still bad. They've been meh. Grenade is very slow, plasma grenade is very slow, and like freezes aren't very summonable other than like this one exactly, other than the blue beetle. So like there is obviously synergy between like the freeze beetle and the green wasp. The new drill pack, yes, the new Dooley pack. However, I just think that this item, if you just remove all of this text down here, and you just keep the cooldown, the tag, and this poison value, I think that this card just like cooldown 6, poison 4 as a bronze small item, that actually seems like really insane to me. This is basically, in my eyes, old Gamma Ray. Do you all remember how in December we used to get farmed by Gamma Ray on day 1, because Gamma Ray is poison, like, I don't know, 50 or something on day 1. Like, it was ridiculous, actually, Gamma Ray. This thing, like, if you are playing Catfish, on Vanessa, a Catfish on day 1 is, like, a really good item, actually. Like, poison 3, cooldown 5, that's good on day 1. It's a good tiebreaker. It's good damage. This is like 20% more cooldown than a Catfish for 1/4 more poison, like 20% more poison. So it actually trades every with Catfish, right? It's also another poison item for Dooley, which means now any poisons, if you take skill at the start, landing on like +9 poison is way less bad with this in your pool, right? Because you can actually have another bronze, like a fairly fast poison in your pool now. So I actually think that having this in my pool would improve my day 1 win rate by a fairly decent amount. Like, just having this on day 1, like Companion Core plus this, for example, like Companion Core, Green Wasp, I don't know, Wallace or Aiden or just any shield thing or like any friend, like this is good. Just this plus Blastoise is like just a good item. Like, just poison 4 fairly fast. Like, it's just gravy down here. It's like bonus stuff. Like, yeah, it's good, but don't need to have this to make this item worthwhile. So yeah, like, I think it's like a highly premium early game item. Obviously, late game, these triggers are fairly rare, and poison does fall off as the game goes on. But like, for the first like 4 days or 5 days maybe, this is a very good tempo item, very good tempo card, just good value. It poisons so much. I low-key suspect like it's like 3 poison or something. Like 4 is too much for this, I think. But yeah, it's really good at 4 poison. Out of hand. Funky Dooley items, yeah. Anyway, so this is actually one of the items I am most like hyped for. It's like a small chem snail. It's really good, I think. It's a friend. It gets charged sometimes. It poisons a lot. It's just a good item, I would say. Next. A black spider. The middle guy. So, slow 1 items for 1 second when an adjacent item poisons or when an adjacent item burns. Charge this 1 second. So yet again, this left and rights are lying to you. These now apparently work when any adjacent item triggers. Actually a huge deal for this one. Because poison triggers, again, as we saw on this one, poison triggers are very rare, right? Burn triggers are not. Am I incorrect? I don't know, man. Not a bug nerd. I don't know what should be doing this spider thing. Anyways, you can sandwich this in between 2 burn items. This will be one of them. So you do like Nitro, Black Spider, Firefly. Or like, you do like Nitro, Black Spider, Ignicore, or like Ignicore to the right, Black Spider, like just, yeah, like, I don't know. Tool, Solderingen, Black Spider, Ignicore. Like, there's so many permutations with to the front, not the back. Spider's legs are connected to the front segment, not the back. So like to the head? I mean, doesn't really have 2 segments. I don't know. It's a robot. Anyway, so if this is it was a robot. Yeah, it's like it's meant to okay. This is not meant to be a replication of an actual spider. Like, okay, here's my headline. Okay, so the designers of the robot drew inspiration not from the spider itself, but the vision, the image of the spider that lives within the zeitgeist, within the spirit of humanity, right? Like, this is like the platonic sort of, the platonic realm of the imagination that a human has of a spider, that a layman has of a spider. Okay, that's your there, fixed. Anyways, back to actual card itself. So it slows pretty good actually. Slow 4-1. So apparently when this upgrades, it goes to slow 2-4-1, slow 3-4-1, slow 4-4-1. The platonic ideal of a spider in robot form, yes. And right now, Dooley's slow items are kinda terrible actually. Like, LEDs just feel pretty bad. Cool LEDs. Like, in the past, this item, cool LEDs, was so broken, it used to basically carry like all of Dooley's slow needs and all of Dooley's like slow triggers. Like, you'd play like pylon LEDs or like pylon whatever, like just LEDs plus anything, and it would be fine, because these would slow so much. No, Batare, Blue Beetle share, no, yeah, anyways. So having this being like a mini dock lines that gets charged by a fairly easy trigger, just burn, that's really good on like ignition core. Like, having on a dot build, having crowd control is very strong, because if they can't cast, I mean, just on any build it's good to have crowd control, but on a burn build, because the only thing that has to happen when you're playing burn is you have to live long enough, right? Because your burn kinda just, it just stacks very fast. Like, the damage scales very fast when you're playing burn. Like, burn by definition is a scaling form of damage in and of its own. Like, just applying burn at set intervals, it represents linear damage scaling for your comp. So in a comp that's like burn based, and when your damage is always scaling, crowd control is just very good. So I think this one, really good one. We do have plasma grenade, and I've been actually loving this item recently. This thing, the grenade. It's decent as a slow item. It just has a very long windup is the issue, right? And it doesn't really get value against like guys with like fewer items, like Vanessa's or Pig sometimes. So it's like, it's okay, but having a persistent slow is just pretty good, I would say. And also, obviously, if drill stays the way drill is, it's a very good like amount of procs to your drill, right? Like, just to be clear, like, obviously, if drill is playable, like if drill stays the way it is right now, these are all like really good drill items, because they all proc the drill, right? So like, these are like all drill items, and they are good drill items even, because they have very good procs per second of these effects. They get charged as well. So Black Spider, really good, I would say. Just this one's good early game. This one's good forever. Good late game. Good late game. Then there's the burn one, and this one actually has the easiest trigger out of all of them, I think. Dooley has a number of items which just spam haste. So this is Red Firefly, Burn 4. When, again, this is lying to this, any adjacent item. When any adjacent item slows, charge 1 second. When any adjacent item hastes, charge this 1 second. There is one good slow item, which is this one. It's a good slow item. But importantly, Dooley has a lot of good haste items. Dooley has Metronome. Dooley has DJ Robot, which means not nerfed or something. There's Metro, DJ Robot. Honestly, I could see like playing like Black Spider, Firefly, Pylon. Like, this actually makes Pylon like playable almost. Black Spider. Give 1 nano? Okay. Is there a way to get more nanobots or? Well, anyways. Yeah, Solar Farm. Yeah, so there's Solar Farm, there's DJ Robot, there's Companion Core, there's Metronome, there's Pylon, there's this thing, there's the mainframe, which again, this combo actually, like, when you use a friend, haste something, so it's like, pretty good, I would say. Yeah, Pyrocarbon as well, yeah, so like, I mean, it does, if it works, it works, like, if you have a Pyrocarbon, it's pretty good, I would say, like, yeah, like, Dooley just has so many ways, has so many items which are like a haste hub, right? Like, they just spam haste in large amounts throughout your board. Like Pylon, yeah, Pyrocarbon, Solar Farm, Dualtron mainframe, they're just haste like funnels. They just spread out haste and proc it a lot. And also I mentioned that Bomb Squad at some point. Like Bomb Squad, like this is like this plus Bomb Squad is like the old it's like Race Car plus Bomb Squad, right? Like it's another way to get haste triggers, right? And now you can sandwich this between two of those haste triggers and just have a really, really fast burn activation. Like, buff this thing's burn activation is like really, really good. So yeah, I think this one, because it gets procced by the easiest trigger that Dooley has, which is haste, like it's like a most versatile trigger. And it actually does like a good effect. Like burn is good. Like stacking burn is a good thing to do. So I presume when it upgrades, it gets either +1 or +2 burn. That will matter. But yeah, I think this item is very, very, very strong. The Firefly in like the mid and late game. This one. Not great on day 1, although honestly, on day 1, right now, Dooley's like burn items are quite terrible right now, by the way. Like, Dooley used to have induction Aegis, right? This item. But now it's unplayable, right? Aegis, it does no burn at bronze. Its cooldown is long. So, on day 1, was before Aegis. It used to be like, before the bonk, this was like a 4-second cooldown. Aegis, pre-bonkening, was like, it was 4, was nerfed to 5, before the bonkening, and it got bonked to 6. This one. Yeah, and before that it was like slow, was like a gold item that slowed your adjustment or something. It was weird before Aegis. Anyways. So, at 5, Would be a good 5 cooldown item, honestly, Aegis, like, because it's just a burn item, it's a small burn item, because Ignition Core does have the issue currently. By the way, welcome, Reggie Raiders, talking about the new Dooley cards, welcome. Anyways. Welcome Rage, welcome Raiders, keep going here. Dooley currently has the issue on Ignition Core that on day 1, there's like no good small burn item. You have to play like Ignition Core Bomb Squad, Ignition Core Dave, Ignition Core like, you know, just trash, like just these bad burn items, like, cause they're like fine on day, like Dave is fine like later, right? But not on day 1. The dream is, yeah, welding helmet, like there's just so many like bad payoffs. Because if you have a silver Ignition Core, it's like very strong. We need like any good payoff, like any good thing to buff with it, right? Like, and this compared to like all the other like day 1 burn items, burn 4 on a small cooldown 6. That's like really good for an Igni Core. Like that's fantastic. You know, that's very fine. Like, so even on day 1, like no other procs here, like no other delete this text. This is like a good day 1 item for Ignition Core. Like it's fine. On other cores, a bit less so. I mean, if you go for skills and you land on a burn skill, then obviously it's good, like it's a burn item. So, yeah. So like, yeah. In the mid-game, it's like a companion core or something, yeah. Igni, Firefly, Bomb Squad, yeah. Day 1. That's very decent, yeah. Yeah, and now, and it's 2-sided, you can do this. You can play, Friend, like say Aiden, Bomb Squad, Firefly, Companion Core. So now it's both sides, the haste on this. To the left. I think to the left. You wouldn't like want to. I guess maybe you would charge this instead. Interesting. I don't know. DJ with bugs would be a thing? Certainly. I think DJ is still a strong item on its own, just the haste engine. It's a good item, DJ. It's still, DJ is still with 1 nanobot. DJ is still old companion core, right? Yeah. So I think this one is a pretty good one. It's good, like, it really shines on day 2 and further, I would say, this one. On Ignicore is good on day 1, other cores like good on day 2 and further. And especially late game. Late game, this can pop off. The Firefly, really good now. And then there is this one. And honestly, I was fairly negative on this one before when I saw it the first time. This one is haste 1 item for 1 second when an adjacent item burns. Here's 1 second. This being both sides now makes this way better actually. The Mantis. The way to look at this is like it's basically Aiden, right? It's Aiden doesn't heal. So let's say you have like some cooldown calculation here. It's smaller, I guess. So let's say you have an item that is charge 1. Clear this. Let's say it's cooldown 6, charge 1, and let's say you put a Nitro next to it. Nitro is cooldown 4, multicast 2. So with a Nitro next to this, it's like cooldown 4, let's say. The Mantis. If I put a soldering gun next to it, so a soldering gun would be how much? Is it still 4? Excuse me. 6, 1, 6, 3. Ah, still 4, I guess. Interesting. Even 5 for a Mantis. like, it's fairly easy to get this thing's cooldown, its effective cooldown, to 4 seconds. The way it upgrades is it gains extra haste targets, which honestly, that's pretty good, I would say. This gaining more haste targets, because beforehand, I think Dooley had fairly poor targets for rocket boots. Like, if you have like one of the big haste things for Dooley, you already have enough haste, I would say. Like, I put rocket boots on Aiden so many times, just because that's what I had to put haste on, right? So that's like nice extra bonus, like rocket boots goes well on this item. It's like, burn is a fairly easy thing to achieve, like that's pretty fine. So honestly, I'll gladly play this next to my ignition core, next to my knight, next to soldering gun, like just a fairly solid item in the mid game. Like, not on days 1 and 2, but on day like day 3, day 4, day 5, like etc. Like that's fine. It's a good haste item. Aiden does have the same amount of haste as the Mantis does, and it's non-contingent on other triggers, and it does heal, and the healing is meaningful, especially in the early game and the mid game. So I would say that on average, this is like on balance, it's really worse than Aiden. It's like slightly worse than Aiden because it doesn't represent a start time, right? Like Aiden can start your comp at second 4, right? It's not meaningless. This cannot. This has to be started by something else. So in terms of like throughout the combat triggers, it's like let's say about the same haste as Aiden is, but it's worse than Aiden, I would say. However, being said, I think this is like the worst beetle, the worst bug. And even so, it's not that bad, right? Like, A, that's like an A. It's decent, it's okay, it's playable. So, if you zoom out here, there's all of the beetles. So there's the freeze one, the poison one, the black one, the slow one, the burn one, the haste one. These are all, so I think with these, the freeze and the haste ones, these are really good items. Like that's really good day 1, really good day 2, mid game, good mid game, good mid game, like just fairly premium items. The slow bug is more targets. These all gain more targets besides the dot ones. Yeah, so honestly, these are 5 small bronze items. They are mostly just playable on their own. Like, so because these don't need other bugs next to them, just need like any of these tags. And some of them, party, not good, still bad skill, so no. Like, I think these cards are just fairly like this item just made this like remove this text and it's freeze 2 for 0.5 at silver. That's like not bad. That's a fine item. That's a B tier item with no text. Like, that's good with no text. Like that's good text and good payoff. Like, good text, good payoff. Like, good, like it hastes. It does useful things. Like, these are good effects that they are useful. There's so many useless cards out there. There's so much junk in your shops. Regardless, there's fuel rod and stuff in your shops. So I would say that these, on average, improve your average item quality in the early game, in the mid game. They work well together or independently. They do good things. I think that this will increase my win rate in the early and mid game, on average. It's honestly what I want to do, honestly. Like, that's pretty good. You don't have to play, like... The friend tag is a bonus, right? Understand, Dooley? Creep understands very few things. The friend tag, I think, isn't even, like, required on these. Besides bonus, right? Like, you can play combining core of this, like, pretty good, just good items, like, Ruthless? I don't know. I am, okay, I have the very, I don't see how they leave Drill unchanged. Drill will be hit somehow, I think. I don't want to be hit, but I think it will be hit, so I am not certain that we'll be drilling all the time. So let's detach ourselves from the idea of drilling on cooldown, right? You know, 3 more seconds. Yeah, I don't know. So like, yeah. Dooley is ruined. I mean, this is a good back. Like, just this. Ignore the drill. Ignore drill. It's a good pack. Problem though? That is ruined. This is a bad thing, yes. Make combat core playable again, please. So, next, Dualtron. Dualtron. Look at this thing with his Zord and his Zield. Why is the Zord there? Excuse me. Anyways. Anything? No idea. Anyways. So, Dualtron. Big, scary Hulk-looking thing. Hulk-looking thing. What do? Cooldown 1 billion decades. It's a large frenzy weapon. Deals 1000 damage. It has the drill text. When you haste, slow, poison, freeze, or burn, charge this 1 and not 2 seconds. 1 second. When you use a friend, shield 50. I've been told that the way this happens is this. When you make this diamond, this number goes to 1500 and this number goes to 100. So it gets 500 damage and 50 shield from gold to diamond. This is duct tape? Kind of is, yeah. So, regarding this text down here, the ninja friend. Honestly, Primordial? Kind of. It's a drill. I think correct? I don't know. Bug tape, yeah. First thought, when you use a friend, shield 50. This makes Armadillo kind of playable, right? Like, this makes Armadillo. That's a combo. Is it a good combo? Not really, right? Here's the thing with Armadillo. Even back when Armadillo was cooldown 6, it kinda fell off in the late game. I'll come out on Wednesday. Wednesday is the patch day. Yeah. So even when Armadillo was cooldown 6, and you had like a bunch of shielders for it, it would kinda fall off in the late game, right? And the late game is when this card shows up, right? The Dualtron. So I think Harma, Dualtron, not that, it's like fine. But it's fine. Consideration. This stuff. These are all of the text on the bugs, right? Like when you use a bug, charge Dualtron basically, right? When you use a bug, charge Dualtron and also gain some shield. this has a very, very narrow expiration date. The issue with this style of item is that it's meant to be your win condition. It's meant to be your pressure, your damage, right? But because it's contingent on being charged, on having it's like a big nuke, right? You're like, when this goes off, do a lot, right? It's very hard to affect this output up here, right? Because if you buff your drill by like 10 damage, your fast drill now does like way more damage, right? With like plus 10 damage on it. If you buff this 10 damage, that's nothing. That's meaningless. Like, it doesn't make a difference. So this is very, very hard to buff. You can buff the shielding fairly reasonably, because it's a pretty fast proc, but change CD, no. Diamond gets more shield and more damage. Dooley, but new item, Pog, yes. So because it's very hard to affect this value up here, I think this seems quite bad. Even if you are proccing all of these text a lot, and even if it was like drill has separate ICDs for all of these effects, right? Basically, even if that were the case, charging a 30-second cooldown item through increments of 1 is gonna take a lot of ICDs to do. Like, because inevitably you'll have like way more of one of these triggers than the other ones. Like, you have like a bunch of haste, or a bunch of burn, or a bunch of slow, or a bunch of like whatever. And one of these ICD channels, so okay, ICD means internal cooldown. When you charge an item, you cannot charge it more than every 0.2 seconds. So if you haste 5 things, this won't get charged 5 seconds immediately. It's gonna get charged 1 second, then after 0.2 seconds gets charged 1 more second, then after another 0.2 seconds gets charged 1 more second. So if you haste 5, it takes a full second for those charges to be deployed to your Dualtron, right? So I don't know. To me, it's gonna have a very narrow, very short expiration date. Like, you can find this on day 5, and on day 5 with good triggers, it's really good. Like, it actually does real damage. Like, the shield matters, damage matters on day 5. By day 8, these values, like, even if you're charging it like very, very fast, 1,000 is not that much on day 8 or like day 9, for example. Like, it's good, but not like that insane. Like, it's fine. So it's gonna be good on like day 5, 6, 7. Go back to India. Just ban you. Goodbye. Anyways. Yeah, so it's gonna have a very like narrow window where it's actually playable. Not even accurately hateful? I don't know, just call me, I don't know. Actually, not say what I'm gonna say. Let's just move ahead. Just ignore, yeah. It's been done, anyways. Then there's this thing. Dualtron mainframe. So, obviously, the intent here is you play Dualtron and Dualtron mainframe. And when that happens, in the 1 in 1,000 games where you get both your gold Dualtron and your gold Dualtron mainframe in the same game, in that 1 in 1,000 games, it's gonna be kind of decent. Not even insane, but just like kind of okay. Yeah, you don't play the core of this too. Like you just play this, and it's like in the bugs, right? That's the idea there. How many slots? Friends. You're playing friends, you're playing like 8, then and some bugs. That's the idea there, basically. Play like a bunch of friends, the Dualtron and this thing. That's the concept here. Combat core, yeah. That's my thought as well, Floof. My thought is you play this with combat core. Silver, I think that's too OP. For this, for this. For other one, for this one, no. I think this game is started silver, honestly. Let me just like 25 shield. 500 damage, it's silver, actually playable, I would say. Decent. And Carlias. Yeah, so if this enchants the same way Robotics Factory does, Robotics Factory. If this enchants like Robo Factory, it's pretty good actually. Because this, so it's charge the core and haste large item. So my idea is you are playing combat core. Sorry, yeah. You are playing combat core, right? You're playing combat core is your core and your large item. So it gives you haste triggers and charges the core. And then you put your red firefly next to this thing, right? So like you put this when you haste, charge this. You put that next to the mainframe, and now when any bug attacks, procs a haste trigger, which procs your firefly, right? And now that cycles. And then you can enchant this at level 10 presumably, with like a poison enchant or something. And then you can put another bug next to it to soak up that extra trigger, right? So let's say it's like burn or poison or something, you can put like a freeze one next to it. And you can charge your combat core this way. Because I think combat core, like, here's the thing. Finding a silver item and the gold item is way easier than finding 2 gold items, right? Wasp? No, Wasp doesn't work. Wasp, it does haste. I mean, this one? No, this is slow and freeze. This is the only haste one. The firefly. This one is burn and poison. So I think if they make combat core even slightly playable in the, like, if combat core is playable like days 2, 3, and 4, I can buy a combat core early game, play it for a while, keep it, and then in the future find this and a bunch of friends, and I can make my combat core really good with this. Because this thing, hasting my combat core and charging it at the same time, it's really good, right? Like, because combat core is like that amazing right now, but when you are like spam charging it, it's like a lot better, right? This idea, you know? Because if you are just, like, let's say you're playing like Dualtron mainframe plus Dualtron, right? This charge, like charge the core, like charging a thing which already is getting charged anyways isn't like that good, right? You know? Like hasting a large item is like charge it already, right? Yeah, so it goes, damage goes to charge 2 seconds, haste 2 seconds. So the haste won't matter, but the charge will. Like, honestly, even right now, like 5 fast friends, like even 4 fast friends, like let's say Bomb Squad, Carl, Red Bug, like another bug, like that kind of combo. The items, I think there are none. I think there's no new big items this go around. Just the same old. I think there's only going to be like 2 expansions per cycle. I think like 2 characters get new cards per cycle. I think. Anyways, yeah. So like, even right now, with like giga bad combat core in the game, charging your combat core by 2 seconds seems really good, right? Yeah, like next move, yeah. And I really want them to buff combat core. I think it's been very unplayable. Like they nerfed it so many times. It's so bad right now, combat. It's so sad. It's like, check out item as well, combat core. Like, man, it's so good, but it's so bad after they nerfed it so much. It's so fun to play with. But anyways, yeah, it's fun to play the combat core. Like, just fun item. It's like just so bad. Like, there is no point. Am I right? There is a point. It's still, the item still loads up by itself. Like, yeah, faster is faster. Like, haste is good. Like, as previously stated, charge has an internal cooldown. You can't charge a thing, the same source, more than every 0.2 seconds. So like, if you haste an item, it changes the breakpoints of how fast it goes. Like, is wasted? It's not wasted. Excuse me. What are you talking about? It's not. The thing still gets to charge itself. Like, it still ups its own cooldown. Welcome, Snaz Raiders. Well, no. Haste is less good when you are spam charging something. Like, it's not the same as, well, if there is no charging, haste is the same as this has half cooldown. If you are charging something, it's no longer the same as this has half cooldown, right? Because if you were to reduce the thing from 4 to seconds, now it requires less charge, right? So the haste does lose value in a way, but it's still very strong to haste your thing as well. Like, well, for this, I'm saying, I don't think I'm gonna play a lot of Dualtron this thing. I'm playing Combat Core with this. I'm talking about Combat Core right now, not Dualtron. Combat Core. I'm talking about this one. If they buff this, I think my main use for the mainframe is gonna be Combat Core mainframe, not Dualtron mainframe. That's my conception of this. Like, I wanna charge and haste my combat core, right? That's being scaled. Is huge. Vehicle, yeah. So like, that's my idea here basically of this item, of the mainframe. If they buff combat core even slightly, now or in the future, like, maybe combat core stays bad for like the release, but then like in the like so here's how it goes. It's one big patch, then after 2 weeks, one smaller patch. Our last patch was a small patch, right? Like the previous patch we got was a tiny one. I expect, so my expectations for this patch are for them to fix some of the bonked items, like for them to line up the cooldowns and the charge cycles a bit better, like make this item cannot stay this way, okay? This cannot stand, okay? Whatever this is, that's illegal. Diamond, cooldown 5, charge 4, no. That's illegal, that's unethical, that's... What the hell is this? Please, what? No. Fix this. Like, I don't know. Diamond throwing knives. Cooldown 4 at diamond, charge 3. Excuse me? What is this? Huh? What the hell is this? This doesn't make sense. So, very illegal. Why? I can't run. Like, this does not make sense at all. So, my expectation is that either this next Wednesday or in 2 weeks, there will be more changes to the base set of cards, like the base cards we have. My platonic ideal, yes, not platonic idea at all. Like, I expect them to fix the bonked stuff, to like make the like change the cooldowns, change the charge amounts, change the stuff, like make it make sense, right? Basically. Light bulb, nobody knows. Anyways. So I think that them buffing combat core soon-ish may happen. Either they lower the cooldown back to 5, or they increase the scaling on it. And if that happens, I think that me playing combat core mid-game with like some bug support, because they're good items in the abstract, which is good to have on my board in mid-game, and then I pick up this mid-game, rather late game, to make my thing go crazy. Like, I remove my core and put this instead. Like, I remove, so let's say I play like 5 smalls, core, combat core, right? I find this, I remove my core, I put this in, right? Done, you know? And also, this would charge both cores, right, by the way, this thing. Like, it's not about a diamond, like, let's say this becomes diamond, is random, I think it's both. Let's say this becomes diamond, I like play 3 friends, like Aiden, Red Wasp, like another one, and I like put my core back in, and I charge both things by like 1 billion, right? I don't know. Makes sense to me. This item, I don't think that Dualtron makes sense to this, but like, yeah, GPU hates both, yeah, for example. Oh yeah, we'll go with Bob, yeah. 610 called out the Bob stuff, because Bob is a friend, so Bob will charge itself. Not like that crazy, because the issue with Bob has always been getting the Bob to go off once, basically. So it's still slow to get going, the Bob stuff, presumably. I mean, I guess you can charge the Bob. This actually it's pretty good. Actually, yeah, actually it's good. Yeah, I see it. The friend charges the Bob to get it going, and it procs itself. Yeah. For this item, it's at pearls every time. Don't worry. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, 1 in every billion games having like Bob mainframe is pretty good, I would say. Yeah, that's good. Good combo. And then obviously, making Dualtron a core does have implications. So all your skills which proc of the core doing stuff now apply to the Dualtron instead. A feature? I think remote control only procs 1 core, erroneously. It should proc both cores. Anyways. I think the only thing I can see about Dualtron being a core is that now The skill Overclocked, it's the best one for it actually. Overclocked, this one. The CDR one can actually reduce your Dualtron's cooldown. It's like 3 second CDR with no other effect at gold, and like yet burn it's 6 second CDR, then it's like better at diamond. I would say like Overclocked plus this combo of the main Dualtron, like 24 second Dualtron. That's fine-ish, right? You know, like with the charge and stuff. Meh, you know. I could see it. Okay, next. Zord. So, featured on Dualtron's art, but I don't see how you could feasibly consider playing Dualtron Zord. What does Zord do? Medium weapon tech. It's tech. Deal some damage, burn some burn. Adjacent items are CDR'd. This has +1 multicast if you have a large item. Zells for 4 gold. That's amazing. Zells for 4 gold. Yes, that's what Zord is. Zells for 4 gold. Yeah, it's like, I mean, so yeah, this one's one thing state. It's completely unplayable without the large item, right? So like, without the multicast, it's like completely unplayable, right? Like that's just first things first. So yeah. So this is what it is with the requirement of having a large item in play. Having a large item in play is pretty hard to do right now. I think Dualtron isn't amazing. It's like, it's fine. Not amazing though. It's too good. It's very good actually, yeah. Dualtron is fine. The large items which have a chance to do this are Railgun and Combat Core. If they either buff Railgun, like they either buff the damage on Railgun or the charge amount, or they buff Railgun anyway, I could see playing Zord Railgun, right? Like, or this one. Like I could see playing like this item plus Railgun. It's like I can CDR my core and the Railgun. It's a tech item, like 10%. No, Railgun pretty good actually. Like CDR on the Railgun, like CDR core and Railgun, fairly okay-ish. Cast per second, like a thrusters. Does fine-ish damage, fine burn. Kind of right, you know? With Combat Core, I go like Core, Zord, Combat Core, CDR the Combat Core and my actual core, with like 3 smalls left side, I don't know. If they make Combat Core and or Railgun playable, I could see Zord being sometimes played occasionally, maybe sometimes. The CDR isn't useless, the cooldown is long, but the effect is like fairly like large, like that's not 0 damage, that's like decent-ish damage, and decent-ish, like that's a large burn amount, right? That's 12 is a lot of burn, right? So, like, base values do matter, you know? Like, we live in a world where we can, like, we buff ourselves with skills and stuff, but base values do matter. So, I think that this, if we have good playable large items, honestly, I think that the big one is Railgun. If Railgun ever becomes meta again, I think this plus Railgun is a real thing. Genuinely. Besides that though, meh. Look at this one first. Zield. So this is the Zord's brother, the Zield. Shield an amount, freeze an amount, and then the same text as the Zord. It's cooldown reduced adjacent items like a thrusters, like a silver thrusters, plus multicast. By the way, to my knowledge, the way these upgrade is these values down here, these don't change. So the CDR and the multicast don't change on these items at all. It's just I think this gains more freeze targets, and the other one gains like more burn and damage. Zield. Pretty bad, honestly. Like, with Dualtron, like, this, I would say, is a better Dualtron item than the other one. But that Zaza, I don't know, seems meh. Like, I need to occupy half my board with a large item and a Zeal. If you have 3 Z's in play plus 20% CD. Zells for Sore Gold as well. Great for Bob. Great for Bob. Not that great, honestly. I mean, it's an item, but not a good item. It's like fine. We've said like Bunker plus like Bunker Zield. Honestly, it's like fine. Bunker Zield. Like a gold Zield. Like, that's if this goes to like freeze 2 things. No, it's gonna be freeze more amount, because it says 1 seconds. Like, hold up. This says freeze 1 items. This is just always 1 item, right? Does it go to 2 targets, or does it go to more freeze? Do we know actually for sure what is always 1? So it's always 1 target, so it's 1.5. Because if it went to more actually, yeah, okay. It's 1, 2, 3. Not bad actually. Freeze for 3, multicast 2. Honestly, kind of okay in like a force field comp. 1, 1, 5, 2. That's what I expect actually. Yeah, it's like a snow globe. It seems okay-ish. Like Bunker Zield. It's the devs, yeah. I don't know. I could see it. Like Bunker, it seems very niche. It's like quite terrible. It being a freeze item is meaningful. Like freeze, like never always respect freezes, right? That's just freeze is good. Shield is whatever. Like the freeze is good, I think. Like it's a snow globe, right? Like meh, mediocre, subpar, like I said, like below average item. Zelso for gold. No, not my putty, but you know, whatever, sure. And then finally, Satcom. Haste the friend, to the right of this, 2 seconds, at the start of each day, get a small friend from any hero. Zatcom? No, Satcom. So this is Fishing Rod. You might not know this about me, but historically speaking, I've been a huge Fishing Rod fan in the very, very far past, right? I used to love Fishing Rod. But then something happened. And you know what happened? It happened that when I was a fan of Fishing Rod, the items which the rod gave were very good. Back in my day, Coral was like an insane item. Clamera was an insane item. They were all very, very good items, right? And then times changed, and then the aquatic stuff became like a lot worse in the late game. Like they nerfed Shipwreck, then they like basically what I'm trying to say, like in so many words, this type of card is not worth it as an econ item. Like, there ain't no way I'm paying 4 gold on day 2 or 3 for an item which breaks even 2 days later, then profit 3 days later. That's a terrible investment. That's really bad econ. Because I want my money as early as possible. I'll pay money later for money right now. I don't want to, if I'm paying stuff now, money later, I'll be getting a bunch of cash later and soon, rather than a bit of the trickle down. No. So, as just an econ item, no thanks. The value in this is that these items draw from a pretty good pool of items. So this actually has decent odds to give me actual good items to play. Because Dooley's items, like a bunch of Dooley's friends, are balanced around being terrible. Because combining coexist, I guess. I don't know. Freaking Copperhead and Wallace and all that stuff is it's balanced as if it's perma-hasted, right? It's just pretty bad. Vanessa friends, however, are actually quite good. So let's say that, Illusoray, good item. Zoarcid, good item. Catfish, good item. These are good, early mid-game items. Vanessa friends, decent. The new Vanessa friends, Richardson, decent item. This guy, fair item, decent item. There's some fine stuff in Vanessa's pool of friends. It's nanobot? What is this thing? Dooley items. Yeah, so Vanessa's friends are pretty good. So far we haven't seen many Mac friends. Actually, we've seen no Mac friends. At least I missed one. So I think that the pool of items that this draws from is pretty good. I mean, obviously, Firefly, the burn thing, yeah, okay. Has slaves. Salamander guy. Oh yeah, the leeches or whatever. I guess there are Mac friends. Okay, there are Mac friends. The small lizard. Yeah, Venom and okay, two. Okay, so Mac does have friends. That being said, I do think that Vanessa friends are the most plentiful. So overall, this will give you Vanessa and Dooley friends, usually. And your own friends are quite decent. Aiden is good. All the when you have this pack enabled, you always have these in the Fireflies in. So you can always get these ones. You can get Aiden can get Bomb Squad. You can get all the Vanessa ones. So I think buying this just to try to fish out some good friends in play. Decent plan, right? Because I did say it's not a good econ item, but if you are buying it, try to fish for items, well, if you miss, it still pays itself back fairly quickly, right? At the very least. So you aren't losing that much short-term, medium-term econ, right? Regardless. For the chance to actually get some good items in play. So, what's our overview here? What's the idea? So the Zield and the Zord, they 0 for 4 gold. Don't play this. It's pretty bad. What is that now? Unless they buff Railgun. Satcom, good, above average, good item. Yeah. Dualtron mainframe. If they buff combat core, good. Otherwise, 1 in 100 games you'll find mainframe plus system and play this together. It's okay. Dualtron, pretty bad. Find like day 5, have friends. It's okay, but like day 7, bit late already. Meh. It's fine. It's not terrible. It's not great either. Has potential. It's okay-ish, but not like wow, not amazing. It's just fine. It's a gold item, hard to find, so it won't. At the very least, it won't make your item pool much worse. The Dualtron. So that's fine. Like if we have bad items, I want them to be golden up. Right? That's the idea here. So, by Dualtron. The bugs. Mantis, the worst one, it's fine. Like, even the worst, these are pretty good, I would say. So this is like bad, but not that bad. Pretty good. Good on condition call, good on like just in abstract, that's good triggers, good condition on this. Good slow item, good crowd control, good item. Really good day 1, really good early game, really good day 1 and 2. The green wasp, actually really OP, this one. Makes your early game way more consistent. And then this one is fine mid game, fine late game, just good value. So I like all the bugs. I think all the bugs improve your item pool a fair amount. These are all good items. And the bad items are like medium silver stuff. Like honestly, on Dooley, you don't even like go to medium versus the medium. Like you don't dig for mediums in the mid game usually on Dooley. Like you want your like the few mediums you do play get like fairly early, and then you like fish for small items in the game basically on Dooley. That's the main way you play Dooley, I would say. Anyways, so you can fairly reliably avoid the bad cards in the set. Like you can avoid the shield and the Zord and this stuff fairly easily, and you are seeing the good cards fairly often, comparatively speaking. Like you're seeing the good the improvements are more often than you're seeing the downsides of the pack. So I would say that this pack, the way the rarities of the items are distributed, on average, it's gonna improve your average outcomes every game quite a bit, because you are adding good cards in accessible shops and you are adding bad cards in meaningless shops, so like at Paul's Day Million shop, in like whatever shops. Yeah, so yeah, I think this pack I would enable. It just seems pretty good value. It seems like good. I think right now I am quite disappointed by Dooley's like early game small shop. Like pretty bad. I like open shop but not small shop. So I think this is a good pack. A meaningful A. I don't know, item pack that its main synergy is with items from this pack. Well, what we got. So that's my review of the Dooley items. Cool items, exciting items. I will play them maybe at some point. Playing Mac more though. A lot of Mac. Anyways. Didn't nerf. We'll see. Vanessa items? I did, yes. We have a review on YouTube of Vanessa items.